Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, this week I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week, let's have a look-see for your key to the week. You have the Hierophant card, right? So this week it really is going to be about how you interact with the world. This is what you really need to start looking at. How do you show up in the world? What is it that not even necessarily just your communication style, but everything, your work, the way that you dress. Like this week you're going to really be asking yourself, for a lot of you this could be about an image change. Now remember, Venus is currently retrograde, okay, in your sign. So while she's naturally enhancing your beauty, you may be tempted to go and start cutting hair off and changing colour and all the rest of it. And the chances are you probably won't get what you're hoping to get out of it. Now, the other thing that you need to consider as well is if you're doing this from home and you're doing it yourself, the chances are your results may not be what you want. They might not be what you expected. So please, please, please just be really, really conscious of that energy. Now, how you show up in the world, right? And ultimately, what is your inner authority? How does that show up for you? How do you show up for you? And ultimately, how do you interact with the world? This is really asking you to get very clear on what your environment, the things that you're tied to, or even the things that you, the things that you adhere to. What do they actually say about you? For your actions and interactions, your actions and options, you have the Six of Wands, right? This is great. This is a good week for you because you're not only are you showing up as yourself, but you're ready and willing to blow your own trumpet. This is the week where you are actually able to say, you know what, these are my strengths, these are my skills. If you're going for a job interview this week, this is fantastic because you're showing up in a way that is true to you. You're showing up in a way that presents all of your best and your best attributes, right? And this Six of Wands, it really is you. It's kind of you being able to say, you know what, I've done this, I've done that. Like, this is who I am, this is what I'm about. And ultimately, this is why you need me. So if you're going for a job interview, you have the confidence to sell all of who you are, but not in a way that's like my advice to you as well with the everything that's going on in the sky at the moment. Do not over promise, right? Under promise and over deliver. Fantastic. If you do it the other way around, or you embellish and you say that you can do something that you can't, the chances are you will get caught out. But either which way, if you're going for new work, if there's something that requires you to kind of sell yourself or put yourself out there in some way, this is a fantastic week for you because you're showing up in a really strong position, and also you're coming across really, really well. For your communications and conversations, you have the Judgment card, right? So I'm going to say it, whether it's a friend, whether it's a partner, whether it is, somebody that you've parted ways with. Maybe it's an old boss because you've got the Hierophant card there. Maybe some old employer gets in touch. You are going to be hearing from an ex ... this week. It'll be different for everybody, but in some way, shape or form, do expect that maybe the I miss you text, or are you busy, the personal favorite, all of that sort of stuff this week could be coming up for you. Now, when it comes to your communications and conversations, one thing that you do need to be aware of, this week you might find that you're adverse to any sort of surface chat or surface babble. This week you might be really sort of, small talk might really piss you off this week. So if you're speaking to somebody and you want to get to know them, this is a week for you to kind of just say, look, you know what, I kind of feel like we're at this level and I need to be down here. This could be a week where you really are wanting and needing the best of, not even the best of somebody, of who somebody is, but wanting and needing at least the depths of who they are. You know, there's something about this week that kind of has a feeling to it that, you know, this surface level chatter is just not going to do it for you. You need more than that. You need the depth. And ultimately, you're probably going to find as well that, you know, when certain people do come back into your life this week, you might be kind of like, you know what, I kind of understand why this ended now, or why I walked away, or why it didn't work. Your money and materials, you have the Knight of Pentacles. This is going to see you working on a long-term plan when it comes to your finances. For some of you, this could be looking at things that you've already paid out on. Maybe this is things that you already have maybe a loan or some sort of finance agreement on. This is actually a really good week for you to start looking at those things, because, as you know, especially if it comes to a car or like a mode of transport or some big sort of purchase that you've made in the past, this is a great week for you to think about renegotiating your, you know, anything that you've paid out for or you spent money on, you know, maybe even refinancing a home or a mortgage, you know, anything like that. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, I can't give you financial advice, but, you know, with Venus retrograde in your sign, she definitely gives you that ability to refinance, restructure your finances or your money, or some big purchase that you've made, especially off the back of this, because you'll be able to find maybe some sort of a loophole, maybe some sort of you know, maybe a better deal elsewhere. Maybe you're transferring a balance and you know, for a 0% or something of that nature. This is a good week for that. Oh, and by the way, I haven't mentioned a happy damn birthday to you. If you are celebrating this week, have an amazing birthday. And I also want to say to you, remember the day of your solar return, fill it with a little bit of everything that you want this whole year to have for you. And then finally, for your love and relations, you've got the Star card. So you're definitely meeting somebody online. Look at this. There's definitely some sort of connection coming in for you guys. For those of you that are single, this is really nice. But like I said, if you are meeting somebody, there's this feeling this week that you're just going to want more from what they're giving you know, from them in terms of what they're giving you. Now, you know, obviously you don't want a marriage proposal within the first week of meeting somebody, but you will be very conscious and very aware if this person is just giving you sort of surface chatter, surface babble, or maybe just kind of, you know, they're not really, you know, they're lukewarm or whatever. This is kind of giving you that. And maybe it's because in a way you're actually really, look at this as well, the two horses, the light and dark. That's interesting. Maybe it's because there's a part of you this week that is, is considering not only what you want from your future, but also what relationships actually look like for you going forward. You know, what the structure of relationships actually look like for you going forward. Now, your love and relations, for those of you that are partnered, this Star card says that some old dream, right? Some old idea or dream that you and your partner had that you'd always kind of said, you know what, one day we want to do that. This week, it looks like you're starting to build the plans, right? Maybe you're doing the research about buying that holiday home. Maybe you're doing the research about moving back to the family, you know, back to the, what do they call it? You know, back to the hometown. Maybe this is about you, you know, in a lot of ways you are going to be, you and your partner are making future plans that are based on your personal shared history in some way, shape or form, which is a really nice energy. I mean, I really love this week for you guys, and considering what it's been up until recently, nice, right? Really good. And with that said, have an amazing week. Have an amazing solar return if you're celebrating this week. Take care, and I'll see you soon.